My name is Paul Chawrun, and I'm the Chief Operating Officer for i-80 Gold. And we aim to become the next mid-tier gold producer in northern Nevada. And we expect to be able to produce over 600,000 ounces per year of gold at low cost, low capital, in a safe, mature mining jurisdiction of northern Nevada.
Paul, good to meet you. We've not met before, I don't think, so
No.
Really nice to meet you. And the sun is out, and the mood is good.
Yes.
It is good.
It's beautiful here.
So we are down here at Colorado Springs at the Precious Metals Show. It looks pretty packed over there. I've been walking the corridors myself. And you've had a few meetings already, have you?
Yes, we have.
And what are you attracting?
We're attracting investors who like the story. I think the biggest question mark that people have is the technical aspect of the assets, the autoclave, which people who aren't familiar with the technology, the timeline to be able to put this together, and the capitalization plan. And we feel we have a very clear, demonstrable plan on how we're going to put this together. And that's the main questions people have.
Okay.
And we walk them through that.
Okay, it's kind of interesting. This is the, I'm not going to go 2.0, but you're the new team. You come in here a bit different experiences, different knowledge, and you've seen something that you like, obviously. So it might be, I think it's incumbent on me to ask a little bit about your background, where you're from, and what have you picked up along the way that's relevant to what the challenge ahead.
Yeah. So, well, first of all, Richard joined this team about a year ago, and I was the Chief Operating Officer at Teranga Gold. And then we've had discussions, and I was following the story. And in due course, he attracted me to this to be able to join the team. My own personal background, I started off as a geologist way back in 1988. I had a bit of an unfortunate car accident, which was actually fortunate, because then I became a mining engineer in 1992. And I've been a mining engineer ever since. So you do the math, 35 plus years.
Yeah.
Worked in coal, oil sands, underground zinc, worked with Richard at Teranga. We built up a small producer there into a mid-tier producer, which was then purchased by Endeavour Mining. I was the Chief Operating Officer before this position at Teranga Gold, and a few others along the way.
Right, and let's try and understand what you guys see, what Richard saw, what you see now, and then maybe how you've then had to kind of go and build up the team, because this is a build team, right? Make no mistake, this is a build team. So, what was the challenge? Because we're talking about, you know, previously mined operations. It's complex geology. You know, it's challenging. So,
well, I'm going to have to correct you on the complex geology.
Okay.
I've been around a long time. It's complex mining conditions.
Right.
So we have a currently operating Granite Creek mine that's been operating for 2 years. This is one of the things that actually attracted me to this, is the geology is well understood.
Okay.
This is Carlin trend. It's epithermal that's been mineralized inside a sediment host. And what that basically means is when you can understand the structures, and those are as expected, then you can get the mineralized continuity.
Okay.
And then you can convert your inferred ore into the next category. And so we've been successful doing that. And it's also demonstrated in the operations at Granite Creek. It's a small part of the ore body right now that we're mining. They've had some challenges with water before I joined, but that's being addressed, and the main issue will be addressed in due course. But back to the geology, we're very confident we'll be able to convert these resources into eventual reserves, and we're working on feasibility studies to put that together.
Right. Okay. Now, obviously, you've walked into a situation with some data, early stage data. What did you think you needed to be able to achieve quickly?
Yeah, the first step is we needed to get, well, first of all, aside from the balance sheet, that was immediate.
Yeah.
And so we addressed that with an equity raise earlier this year, and so that's well understood. But on the technical side, we need to stabilize the Granite Creek operations. We actually have a very strong operating team there. Most of them are ex-Newmont Barrick. They understand this type of geology, and we have a very strong technical team that understands northern Nevada.
Were they new, or did you bring them in?
Did you bring them in?
I should say.
I would say the senior management team was in place. So the previous management did an excellent job bringing in some very key quality people on permitting, on exploration geology, technical, and as well operations. But it was that next level down that we have been successful in hiring in the last 4 months. So that's the structural geologists, the resource geologists, the mining engineers, assistants on the permitting side to execute, and just some of the straight out engineering. So that next level of management, we've been very successful, and I-80 has a great story out there. So we've actually had our pick, and they've been competitive positions for people to hire. So we've been very pleased with that.
Okay, and you obviously named some of the positions there, but that gives us a clue as to the sorts of bits of data that you were looking to kind of fill in the gaps with. And has that happened? Or is it going to just take a little bit more time to get on top of?
I think we have a very good execution plan, and we haven't wavered from that. And in fact, Richard and team put that together before I joined.
Right.
It's very achievable, and now we just need to fill in the organization chart and the resources to be able to do that.
Okay, so nothing's changed from the original thought process.
Yeah.
Okay, so this is about like laying out a process and having people to actually do that. Yeah. So now we're going to keep it fairly simple today, and I think I chatted before. We'll come back and do a slightly more detailed technical session if you don't mind. But for the sake of introducing this story to new people, it's a three-phase plan of attack on multiple assets plus an autoclave. So should we talk about phase one initially?
Sure.
Yeah.
So phase one, first of all, to explain phase one, I need to explain what's happening right now. So Granite Creek is operating, but even despite the gold price, not great margins. And the reason is the ore needs to be shipped to the Turquoise Ridge autoclave. And so the main focus on phase one is to be able to refurbish the Lone Tree autoclave, which we own. We have all the engineering put together, and then the underground mines feed that autoclave, and then we have far better margins. So
these are high grade undergrounds.
These are very high grade undergrounds. The resource estimates are in 10 grams, north of 10 grams per ton for the measured and indicated at Granite, 13 grams a ton for the inferred. We're drilling that right now, and we're getting great intercepts. And so it makes no sense to send that high grade off to the toll milling. But back to the phase one, that's one part of it, Granite Creek underground. And the second phase is the Archimedes underground, which is part of the Ruby Hill complex. And that, we just received the permits to initiate the first drift. And additionally, we have a well-defined resource, but we're going to convert that into the next category with a drill campaign that will start towards the end of this year and well into next year for an additional feasibility study.
Right, okay.
That will also feed the Lone Tree autoclave.
Right, and we'll leave phase three alone for a second. Let's come back to phase one. So currently there's a kind of tolling. Have you stopped the current tolling agreement, and are you going to kind of stockpile for when your own autoclave is up and running? That's
an excellent question. So we are not planning on curtailing production.
Right.
And so we continue to toll mill because we need the cash flow, quite frankly.
Right, okay.
We also need to continue to develop the mine with the waste and access to better grade ore and have it set up when the Lone Tree autoclave is in place. And so what was the second part of your question?
Well, it's really sticking on the tolling where we're saying, because I know you need the cash flows, but at the same time, margin is important.
Yeah, so the stockpile is an excellent point. First of all, you need about a month ahead of time to be able to optimize your autoclave with the different blends. Again, this is a straightforward process, but you can operate efficiently and effectively with a 1 month stockpile. But once we get close to finishing the Lone Tree autoclave, which is the end of 27, depending on our balance sheet, we'll evaluate stockpiling ahead of time so that we don't then lose all those margins going to the toll milling, and that's under evaluation.
Okay, so it's a necessary evil in terms of the toll, but for another 2 years, just
approximately 2 years.
Right.
And then we'll likely be building up stockpile.
So you're making money. It's not that you're not making money. It's just not more. You can make more.
Yeah, we're losing in the range of 1,000 to 1,200, depending on the grade, dollars per ounce.
Do you want to reframe that? You're making money, or you're losing money? Full stop.
We are making money,
but you're losing an
But
additional
that's a
margin.
We are losing the margin. That's an excellent point. We are losing the margin of $1,000 to $1,200 per ounce that we could be getting once Lone Tree's in operation.
Got it. That's what I knew you meant that.
Yeah. Sorry about that.
Just to clarify.
Yeah.
Okay, so you've explained the time frame there. Obviously, phase 2 is also underground. Are they comparable grades in terms of like feeding? Are we
So
blending?
phase 2 starts. Sorry, we've got some deer here. So it's beautiful
Tom, why don't you turn
Colorado
around?
Springs.
Tom, just turn around. It's gone. We're going to take a small interlude, folks, where we have been. Well, it takes all types of investors, doesn't it? Well done. Isn't that wonderful? That's how good the story is.
Yes, everybody's coming to listen.
Well done. Well done, folks. Anyway, that's a first.
Yes.
We've never been interrupted by deer.
There we go. So phase 2. So phase 2 consists of two elements. One is our Cove underground, again, good grades.
Yep.
We've completed the drilling. We're putting together all the technical work for a feasibility study by the end of Q1 in 2026. And as well, the Granite Creek open pit, which is a good grade oxide deposit, 1.2 grams per ton, in the range of 1.4 million ounces.
Right.
And it's also been drilled to measure and indicated already.
Right.
And so we need to set up the baseline technical work for the permitting and the feasibility and technical optimization.
Right.
And that will be a heap leach and a CIL.
Right.
And then that will get us another 200,000 ounces per year, give or take, with phase 2.
Obviously very different type of mining, different type of processing in terms of expectations around margin. You've got a bit more work to do on the studies, but what do we think we'll do there?
So the PEA outlined the cost. We're in the range of $1,200 to $1,300 per ounce, which at these gold prices is excellent margins on the Granite Creek open pit.
Yeah.
And we're somewhere in the range of $1,400 to $1,500 per ounce, all in sustaining costs for the Cove. And so the grades make up for the volume. And so the open pit is well known. It was mined before, and like I said, it's all been drilled. So it's not really that of much of a challenge to put this together.
Yeah.
And we're currently putting together the baseline technical work for permitting.
Right, and I guess the hope is phase 3 is self-funded.
And yes, that's exactly right. And phase 3 consists of our Mineral Point open pit. And that's our flagship. That's where the highest value is. And that gets us in the range of 600,000 ounces per year.
Yeah.
The
total.
280,000 ounces per year from the Mineral Point alone.
Yeah.
At an all-in sustaining cost in, again, the $1,200 to $1,300 per ounce. And that has a mine life of 17 years. That's already 3 million ounces of measured and indicated, and another 2 million ounces of inferred. And we're looking for ways that we can drill the remainder off and start to look at when the timing is right for a pre-feasibility to outline what the value is. And there's also upside potential for Mineral Point.
Right, okay, so a lot of talk in the moment about M&A. You don't need to have that kind of conversation anytime soon, do you?
No, we
got enough on your plate.
We in fact have an excellent deposit called the FAD, or the FAD.
Yeah.
And one of the options we're evaluating is divesting that to be able to fund this growth plan.
Right, okay. So a lot of moving parts.
A lot of moving parts, but this is low capital, well understood geology. We have a great team, and this is very straightforward to put all this together.
And you've got the team you need now. Obviously, that team will have to expand and grow as you carry on. Because obviously, the build team is different from the operating team,
That's
which you'll
right.
have to bring on later.
So on the build team, we have Hatch Engineering engaged. They're the world-class experts at autoclave technology. The feasibility study is nearly complete, and we are already starting some of the early works. And so that consists of ordering the long lead equipment, and there's not a lot, putting together some of the technical work for the updated permits, and as well getting the basic engineering team at Hatch assembled so that we can move this forward at a schedule complete by the end of 2027.
Right.
And so we've already given a limited notice to proceed from the board because we already have a pretty solid understanding and don't feel this is high risk to build this.
Yeah, so there are major deviations. It's broadly the direction that you think it needs to be. So that means obviously the hiring of the external consultants, hiring internally, and the processes and systems you set up are the hard bit. Are there any other aspects to this which you look to your team and say, look, Monday morning meeting, guys, these are the things we really need to keep our eyes on?
Okay, so we have a very experienced team to put all this technical work together. We're setting up systems to formalize the progress reports so that we can keep on top of it. But again, we're very experienced and we know what the key issues are. Getting back to the autoclave refurbishment, and we do say autoclave, but in fact it's only about a quarter of the costs. It's a plant that operated until 2006. It's updating some of the instrumentation, getting it consistent with the permitting requirements of today that have changed since 2006, and also setting up an owner's team. So we've already established an owner's team, local Nevada, Northern Nevada, who understand autoclaves, who understand how to put this together, and getting our project controls and getting those in place. So that's already done.
Okay. So Nevada, obviously, people talk about it as being a great jurisdiction to work. What kind of support are you getting from the state? Given this is a old, former producing area, I assume people want to get back to that state. How do they help you?
Yeah, so these projects are what everybody wants to move forward. So that's all the different regulatory agencies, and there's the federal, and there's the state, and the local municipal. For the mineral point, we need to, and working together with the local communities so that we can understand their goals and achieve their goals with this project. And it's really a matter of getting the social work so that this is beneficial for everybody, all the stakeholders, and secondly, the technical work. But there's a will to make these happen and make this work and have another mid-tier producer in Northern Nevada. And when you don't have any specific opposition, it's a matter of just getting the processes in place to be able to achieve and move this forward to get these permitted and achieve our social license, which is critical as well.
Absolutely. Well, Paul, we do need new answers.
Yeah.
I'm almost a little bit bored of these existing answers merging together. We need new answers. It'd be nice to sort of follow you along that journey. So
Well,
appreciate your time
thank
today.
you. We're excited.